This is probably the nicest day in terms of weather we've ever had with this group, and not so windy as some of our previous locations, so this is good. I'm Denise Cumming, President and CEO of University Hospitals Kingston Foundation. We are the fundraising arm for Kingston Health Sciences Centre and Providence Care, and our mission is to inspire generosity for the health of our families, our region, and beyond. We are here to celebrate our wonderful friends with the Prostate Cancer Fight Foundation and the Motorcycle Ride for Dad, which has generated more than $680,000 for prostate cancer research over the years. They've done a fantastic job of raising awareness about the importance of men having their health checked out. And not only have they helped to raise a fantastic amount of money, but they have helped to save lives. Many of you will know that the first ride was held in Ottawa in honor of the late Charlie Pester, and has grown to include 30 cities across the country and is still growing.
We should start with the mission statement of Ride for Dad. The mission of the TELUS Motorcycle Ride for Dad is to raise funds to save men's lives by supporting prostate cancer research and raising public awareness of the disease. This year, the ride enters its lucky 13th year here in Kingston-Quinte. Our goal for the upcoming May 27th ride is to raise $100,000. This will be put towards cancer research, cancer awareness, and spent in this community. The small dedicated team that you see behind me will hit the $1 million mark raised in this community this year. That's our goal. 1 in 7 men will be affected by the disease, but it's 90% curable with early detection. But enough about the stats. Let's talk about May 27th. We invite everyone in Kingston to come out and watch the exciting parade route that our ride captain Mel has put together. We will go up Queen Street. I call it down Princess Street. I get lost in Kingston. I haven't been around the Kingston area for that long. We invite everybody to come out and cheer the participants. It's a truly glorious sight. I know as a rider, one aspect of the parade is all the people on the side cheering us on, waving us on for the 500 plus bikers, which will take about a half an hour to go past, so it's well worth your time. We will then go on a scenic cruise for the countryside, ultimately with the goal of stopping for lunch in beautiful Gananoque, Ontario, where we will have lunch courtesy of the Gananoque Chev car dealership. Here again, we invite the people around Gan, come and join us. Come and join us for lunch. We will have food available for sale. Come and join the camaraderie. Come enjoy the spirit of the day. We will then continue on the back roads, ending up at the drill hall for our closing ceremony and our exciting raffle prizes. What we do in raising funds for research and awareness saves lives. It's that simple. Although the disease affects men, I invite women, especially women. Whether you have a partner, a spouse, a husband, son, and whether you're the daughter, encourage your men to get the PSA test. A simple $35 blood test could keep your man in your life around a lot longer.
First and foremost, thank you, Brian, so much for stepping up. After 7 years at the helm, I needed a little bit of a break, so I appreciate the fact that you were there to pick up my pieces, and we have finally dubbed him our new old guy. So anyway, so thank you so much as chair. He's brought a different character to the team that we haven't had before. Somebody who's actually retired and can go out and hit all those places that I can never do because, you know, I still have to work for a living. So I'd like to quickly take a few minutes, speak about some of these people behind me, because as Brian said, without these people, this ride is not successful. So this is Mel, Mr. Mel, our chair, or sorry, our thank you. Come up here with me. So he's our ride captain. He lays out the route for us. He makes sure that we have all the stops necessary, looks after getting all the blockers so that we as riders can get through the city safely and on our route, and he pulls out some beautiful scenic routes every year. So thank you, Mel, heartfelt from that one. This guy here, I'll keep it clean, but you know, he's our finder. Any single thing that this committee needs, we sick Doug on him, Mr. Douglas Wood. He is basically, he will walk in any place and say, I'm going to get that for a ride for Dad, and he'll come out with it. That's the kind of person Doug is.
I haven't been caught yet, but
yeah. But anyway, you may find those items on our silent auction table. So, Mr. Doug, you are awesome. Woo! So we've kind of got two combined here. We got this one here, Lyndon Perry Sr. and Marion Perry. Obviously, from the height and the look, yes, they're my parents. However, these are probably the two most important people to Ride for Dad, as they have been around since day one, 13 years looking after this ride, supporting this ride, knowing the community. Everything that Ride for Dad is these two. So in our hearts, without the leadership from these two, we would be lost. So heartfelt thanks as a mother and also as my best friend, Mama. Love you. So then behind us we have Jamie. Jamie is a new member of our team. He has no idea what he got himself into. And every time he says, oh, you know, I think I can help with that, we're like, take it on. It's yours. You got it. And so I think we're probably texting, emailing 15 times a day because we're 2 weeks to the ride. I'm like, okay, Jamie, have we done this? Have we done that? And he's like, yep, I've got it. So he is super fantastic, awesome. We love Jamie. Woo! This young man here, Mr. Pat McKenzie, he's been a part of our team for a long time. He pretty much does a little bit of everything, so we call him Gopher. Pat, go for that. Pat, go for this. Pat, bring the trailer here. Pat, take the trailer there. So Pat is a really super important member of our team because he basically provides support for everything we need. So thank you, Pat. And there's a couple other members of our team that are not able to be here today, but this ride would not survive without them. So our bank ladies, Miss Diane Neal, they look after all of our money, all of our registration, anything to do with dollars. The ladies from the bank and Miss Diane Neal, they're all over it. Mel's assistant, Angie Peacock, she is the one that sends out the emails that are proper English, because as Mel likes to say, I don't really care about dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So Angie is the one that looks after that for us. Who else am I forgetting? Professional photographer, Miss Angelique Perry, who is actually another family member, sister-in-law. My brother, Lyndon Perry Jr., he's also involved. Who else? Tiana Barker, who's our volunteer coordinator. Again, without her, we would be super lost because we basically use about 100 volunteers for the day, considering we're basically traveling 200 kilometers through the countryside, and we have 3 stops along the way. So we have Ann Thorne, who's our treasurer. She looks after everything that we need as far as receipts and treasury and all that, giving us checks, like all that fun stuff. And we have Gary Bradley, who's kind of Doug's assistant. He looks after everything that basically Doug needs him to do. So all combined, there's about 20 of us that put together this great big ride that brings in anywhere from 500 to 700 motorcycles. It's quite a spectacular scene to see with us coming out of the Army base and then down all through Kingston. So please, 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 bear with us. On the 27th, do not drive through the city of Kingston until after 10:30. The roads it'll take us about 20 minutes, but you know, we appreciate the inconvenience for the fact that we're supporting a really worthwhile cause. And what I'd like to do is also thank Maris. He puts out our signs, but we also have to mention that 90% of the funds brought into this chapter, Kingston-Quinte, are from our riders. We don't have a ton of corporate sponsorship, so every dime that comes in is actually pretty much from this community. So we are very lucky to have this community backing us for 13 years.
So our grant recipients are Dean Tripp
Tripp, yeah.
and Katrina Gee. So we'll do Dean Tripp first.
Come on up.
Dean, Dr. Tripp.
Thank you very much.
Where's the... Okay. So you speak.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here, and it's a privilege to be with such a dedicated crew of people. I know how much it takes to give an effort like this and continuously do this, and I appreciate it. I want to thank the Prostate Cancer Fight Foundation and also the Ride for Dad and all the attendees here today. Want you to understand a little bit about our research, and one of the things that I'm very interested in pursuing in prostate cancer is survivorship. And in particular, we're looking for ways to examine how men thrive post-cancer diagnosis, and unfortunately how men suffer post-cancer diagnosis. So through our research, the funds that you've provided to my research group, including Dr. Rob Siemens and Dr. Jason Izzard, and my associated connected people throughout Queens, we're going to be examining just those two things. We're looking at strength and we're looking at vulnerability. And our hope is that we'll be able to come up with a formula, a program, and support that can help men in those darkest moments when they most need it. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody. My name is Katrina Gee, and I would like to thank the Prostate Cancer Fight for Dad and the Motorcycle Ride for Dad for funding our research. My team and I are very honored to receive this grant. It's hopefully going to pursue our science a lot further than what we would have if we hadn't had the opportunity for this funding. We are a basic immunology lab. We work on human immunology, and we're really interested in a particular protein that we found that can trigger prostate cancer cell death. And we're hoping to look at how it could potentially be used as a therapeutic in combination with known therapies to enhance the efficacy of current treatments. And that's what we're hoping to do with this money. So again, thank you very much. I appreciate all of the hard work that all of the individuals standing behind me do for this work. Thank you.
Just to let all of you know that the size of the awards given to these individuals is very significant. Dr. Tripp received a $16,300 award, and Dr. Gee received a $20,000 award, and we are so, so grateful for this amazing support. I think all of the folks in the area are proud residents of Kingston-Quinte, and we are so, so fortunate to live in a community that has such an exceptional range of healthcare services available to us. And we are so blessed that talented people such as Dr. Gee and Dr. Tripp and Dr. Deeley choose to practice in this community and choose to undertake their research right in our community for the immediate benefit of people who are dealing with prostate cancer and other kinds of cancer. And we are so grateful that they've chosen to pursue their investigations in this community and that they made the effort to apply for these funds. It's sort of a partnership made in heaven, so we're glad to have you here.
I always say this every year. This is one of the most enjoyable CHEK presentations that I get to participate in each year. And I think I've been here for pretty well all 13 of the years. It's actually not until today I recognize this really was a family business. Anyway, I'm really here to thank you, not just on behalf of Dr. Gee and Dr. Tripp, but over the years, I think the Ride for Dad has received funding that have supported probably somewhere between 40 and 45 different projects. And those projects range all the way from the kind of basic biological, immunological studies that Dr. Gee talked about to survivorship that Dr. Tripp just described to you, but also looking at new diagnostics. Dr. David Berman, I think a year or so ago, was funded. Health services research, making sure that there is uniformly excellent care for prostate cancer patients across the province, by Dr. Bill McKillop. Shouldn't forget the clinical research that the Ride for Dad has funded with Rob Siemens and Curtis Nickel They're both bikers. I don't know whether they still both turn out for the ride, but they did for many years. So I just emphasize one thing that Brian said, and that is that this is can be a terrible disease. It's a very complicated disease to treat. And one of the biggest challenges, I think, in the medical profession right now is for the individual patient to make sure they're getting the right treatment at the right time, because the disease is very heterogeneous. And Brian was correct when he said caught early enough, about 90% of prostate cancers can be cured. Each treatment's got a different spectrum of side effects and risks associated with it. And it's really important that the men inform themselves before the treatment of what the consequences of each of these processes can be. And there's good evidence that certainly psychologically, those patients that participate in their decision-making process, and they understand the ramifications of the decisions they're making, tend to do better, at least psychologically. I'm trespassing on Dean's territory here, so I'd better quit, so I don't know anything about it. Anyway, thanks again. Really appreciate your efforts every year, and I hope you 1,000 bikers this year, or anyway, we'll hope.
So I just want to follow what everybody else said and give these guys and ladies a heartfelt thanks for all the work that you do in volunteering and setting up the Ride for Dad and the fundraising efforts that go along with it. As we heard from Dr. Deeley a moment ago, the impact you're making is evident every day here in the lives of men and their families across our region. And as we heard, education and research are integral to the success of the diagnosis and treatment of prostate cancer. And you have been extremely generous in supporting this fight. Your passion to raise funds that enable our highly competent researchers to begin investigating some exciting what-if questions is going to be what makes the biggest difference in the fight against prostate cancer. We are fortunate to live, work, and volunteer in a wonderful community with access to an incredible array of healthcare services. But we all know that government support is only able to cover the basic costs. It's up to all of us to contribute to make our healthcare system the best that it can be. Inspiration is at the core of what we do at UHKF. Our mission is inspiring generosity for the health of our families, our region, and beyond. The annual Ride for Dad, the Quinte Telus Motorcycle Ride for Dad, does just that. On behalf of the Board of Directors at UHKF, thank you for all your efforts to improve the lives of men who have prostate cancer and ensure that together we will find a cure. Thank you.